everybody doing on this fine, beautiful day? Azita, how are you today? How was your weekend? What are your plans for today?
Oh, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be back again. Here, we're going to spend a few minutes with you. Very, um, I'm actually doing very, very well. Today, I have a 3 hour course with 8 students, which is going to start at 1. So, after this, I have to jump and get ready and go. It's a beautiful day here. It's sunny and gorgeous. It's a little
What's your class on?
Oh, actually, it's on time management and organization.
Ooh, time management and organization. Oh, I love it. That actually goes with our lesson today on the law of reflection because,
Absolutely.
when you have good time management, you are able to do your reflection and you're able to see what you've got going on. So that is amazing. I'm so happy for you. So
I'm,
what does the law of reflection? I'm sorry?
I'm glad you said that because, when we reflect on what went wrong, that's where
Mhm.
you come up with the solutions, and time management and organizational skills would be one
Yep.
solution. Okay, the law of reflection basically is telling us take your time, go through every experience that you need a lesson from, because it's only by going deep and going through this process of introspection is where you can turn your experience into insight and find something, a lesson that you need really. Because how many times we've done a mistake twice or maybe several times. What is the reason? Because the very first time we never really took the time to go through that exercise,
Mhm.
to go deep and try to understand what did really go right and what did really went wrong here.
Yeah.
So once we do that and we gain a lesson, an insight from that experience, then we're not going to make that mistake again, and we're going to use that lesson for future, for because it's going to happen again. The same type of experience might happen or something similar, and we're equipped.
That's true. And it's all about taking that pause. You know,
Absolutely.
we pause for other things. We pause for the national anthem. We pause when someone's, saying, when there's a funeral procession, we pause for that stuff, right? It's natural.
Yes,
But we don't pause to think about our lives.
that's true.
And we don't pause to think about where we're at in life and how can we make things better. So being able to pause is what helps us to let growth catch up with us. Mm.
Absolutely.
Because with that pause, you're able to go, oh, I know, I remember when that happened. Oh my gosh. And you get that I had a V8 moment, and you smack your head and you're like, oh, wow, that's what that meant. We don't always know why things are happening when they're happening.
Exactly.
We don't know why they happened until later. It could be days, weeks, months, my case, years later.
Oh yeah, been there, done that. And Mary, I just want to just differentiate between reviewing our experience with reflecting on our experience. Two different things. Oftentimes we just go back and just review what happened.
Mhm.
Okay, just go back to that event and just remember. That's not the same type of process we're going to discuss here. Completely different. Here,
Absolutely.
we're going to be very systematic. We know
Mhm.
what we're going to do. So let me just give an example of someone who is not doing anything about what is going wrong. I'm sorry. But instead, they repeat the same experience over and over again. Imagine that you have a store and you had great business so far, but just recently another store opened across the street and they're stealing all the business from you. And they have always a lineup in front of their store, but you kind of are always by yourself, just sitting there hoping that somebody comes in. And then instead of doing something about that, instead of going and finding out, what they're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and also going there and trying to be there and experience that experience they're giving to their customers, you just
Mhm.
you just go and order more of that product or create more of that product, then sit down and just pray, oh please help me, people come in. And then you just go and maybe distribute more flyers, something like that.
Yeah,
What's going to happen? What's the result of that? Nothing. Nothing is going to happen for you. Nothing is going to improve. So that is what we're talking about here, Mary.
yeah, digging deep, and as you're telling me your scenario, it reminds me of the time when I owned a bakery here in my community, and we were really busy all the time. But then someone else opens a bakery, and then all the customers start going there. I call that the shiny object syndrome.
There you go.
But through time, people eventually come back. But you do have to take that time to self-reflect and find out, okay, well, why did they leave me? Why did they are they using better flour? Are they using better ingredients than I am? So that self-reflection is what's important.
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and I know John, he's really good at helping us to open our eyes to go deep within ourselves, to understand why we do the things that we do and why we have the situations that keep repeating themselves. If you don't learn from them, they're going to keep, it's the proverbial hamster wheel, and you're going to keep going through that same scenario until you take
Right.
that time to
Exactly.
pause and really think about what it is that happened and what did you learn from it. That's the key to all of this. What did I learn from the situation? So,
Absolutely. And again, to be intentional about finding that lesson.
absolutely.
So you go through this process because you're looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you just want to review the past. No, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, John always loves to give us systems, and he gave us a system which is fantastic. I think he summarized everything in about this process that we have to go through, and we call it 4 eyes. So the
Mm-hmm.
first eye is the investigation stage. In that stage, we just go very deep in a introspection uh, stage, and then we try to understand what we have done, what we have done right, what we have done wrong, and then we really go sit down with ourselves and think about this. So
Mm-hmm.
we investigate everything that happened. And even prior to that, I would say, even before going into that stage, there's 3 questions we should ask ourselves. What kind of emotions I went through before and during that event, and after, even now? And what can I do about it? And what are the action steps? So, this is what you are going to do. The first step is investigation. So, you go deep and then find out what went wrong, what went right.
And then during that process, you enter the incubation phase.
Yes.
I like to call it the marinade. I like to marinate and stuff, right? So the incubation phase is much like a crock pot. Everything is simmering. You're simmering and you're thinking and you're looking and you're going, wait a minute, and then you start mind mapping and you're like, you got the big whiteboard or the piece of paper and you're writing everything down, all the cause and effects. You're answering those questions that you asked and you're marinating on it to see what can I do differently.
Yeah.
It's only through the incubation phase that we learn how to reach our full potential.
Yeah. And through this stage, incubation, we should not rush it. We really have to, as you were saying, Mary, we have to marinate it.
Yep.
We have to sit down, put it in a slow cooker,
Yep.
and let that really simmer. And let's just think really hard. Take your time.
Mm-hmm.
The next stage is the illumination, and that's when you find your aha moment. That's your reward. Oh my God, this is what went wrong. This
Yep.
is what I can do to change everything. So this is the what you're looking for.
Hmm.
That's your answer.
Yep. And that's where Jim Rohn will say, you're either going to applaud yourself or you're going to push yourself to do better.
Yeah.
And once that happens, you enter the final stage, which is one of my favorites, and that's the illustration.
Yes.
This is where you take all those lessons that you've learned and you turn them into a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Now you're teaching other people through your actions, right? Because words are fine, but the actions are what tell the true story of how you've taken everything that you've learned and you've applied it and you're making it a part of you. And that is what is so cool about this system that John has explained to us. And if you don't have this book, The 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth, you need to get it. Like, go to the library, and check it out. Download it on your Kindle, go buy it. But you've got to get your hands on this book because chapter 4, which is what we're in, the laws of reflection, powerful stuff that will just, it'll be that, oh my gosh, I should have had a V8. I don't know how many of you remember that commercial, but I grew up watching that commercial. Oh, I should have had a V8. Can't stand drinking V8 because I don't like tomato juice, but I should have had a V8.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, what I really especially love about this law of reflection is the sections that John is telling us basically to ask questions.
Yeah, those are the ones that are at the
Mm.
heart of the
Yeah,
reflection.
yeah, there are two different scenarios. One is when we want to improve our relationships with our family, with our immediate surroundings, and with everybody in general. And also, the second one is when we're going through a personal development. We're on a path of personal development. What should we ask ourselves to
Mhm.
make this growth happens? I love those questions. I really love them. What is your favorite one, Mary?
One of my favorite ones, besides the best habit, is what fulfills me.
Mm-hmm.
What lights my fire every day? What is the reason why I get up every morning and do what I do? And honestly, what lights my fire is being able to go out and meet new people and just share experiences and be able to talk about different things and bring a smile and joy to other people. Everybody that sees me knows I'm always smiling. I'm always smiling at people. Hey, how you doing? I hope you have a great day. And what I have found, especially in my new job, where not a lot of people smile because of the type of work that we do, there's nothing to smile about. But I find reasons to smile because at the end of the day, guess what? I'm on this side. I'm on this side of the flower garden, so I'm okay with that. But I have found that when I tell people, I hope you have a great day today, I get that.
Oh
And
no.
so for me, that fulfills me to be able to say, have a great day, and I love that. So that and the habit, I don't like to look at my bad habits. I like to look at my good habits. And my
You,
good habit is reading.
you reminded me of the questions that I love in the relationship scenario.
Mm.
Do I value people?
Oh,
Do I,
yes.
do I add value to people? And am I a plus or minus in my relationships?
Mm-hmm.
With your coworkers, it could be with your family members. So these questions are just so precious. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine we find the answer to all these questions. How our life going to be different if we do something about what we find out? Ask the
Mm-hmm.
questions and go through this process of investigation, illumination. Sorry, investigation, incubation, illumination, and illustration.
Mm-hmm.
Find these answers and do something about it. Because
Absolutely.
again, there is a very big difference between knowing something and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Might know the answer, but if we don't do it, nothing happened, right?
Absolutely. The journey's hard. It's hard. It's hard to sit down and really objectively look at yourself. And not a lot of people do it because it is so hard. But I would encourage everyone to do it because it will change your life. I did it in 2012, and I will tell you, this law of reflection changed my outlook on everything, and it actually changed me as a person. You know, and people are skeptical, and they'll say people don't change. People don't change if they don't want to change, and you can't change people. So the only way to change people is to focus on you and you alone. This is a you and you journey, and
Absolutely.
it's a hard journey, but it's so worth the journey in the end,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
you live happier and you
Absolutely.
live a richer life.
The good thing is when you change yourself, you change the people that come into your life.
Yeah.
You change those people. I mean, you
Yeah.
don't attract people that are not beneficial for you,
Mm-hmm.
for your life, by changing
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Yeah, so be intentional about this law of reflection. Please go through this, I don't know, every day, every week, every month. You know, make it like a practice. Just make sure that you do it repeatedly, because that's only when that this becomes a habitual pattern, and then it gets registered in your subconscious mind and you just do it automatically, even without thinking about it. We have to make it a habit. So we'll leave you with that, and we want you to really go through this process, please, and try it. Try it a few times and see what happens. Just make sure you're looking for an insight. You're looking for a lesson. You're not just reviewing the past. Okay, so that's a very big difference. Okay, Mary, do you have anything to say?
Nope. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.